Good afternoon. I'm Charles Rourke reporting here from Martinsville, Henry County. Now, yesterday we became aware late in the day from folks that are connected to the school and so forth that there was a major fight at the Martinsville High School. And we've got Martinsville City Police Chief Dunn on the phone here with us. And Chief, let me ask you, can you just tell us what happened?
Well, Charles, I can tell you a little bit. I wasn't there,
Okay.
but you described it as a major fight. I'm under the impression that there were two students, one of which assaulted another student, and another student assaulted a teacher. So two juvenile students were charged. I think it was pretty limited to that. So I would not characterize it as a major fight. Certainly, we don't want any kind of fighting or disorderly conduct in our schools. But that did occur. As you know, we've increased our presence at the schools as far as law enforcement. Trying to do everything that we can to ensure the safety of the students, the teachers, and.
But don't you think when a student takes on a teacher that's a big deal?
Well, I think it's to characterize it as a major fight is the only point I wanted to clarify.
Okay.
Certainly, this is an important issue. It's important to us. We had another situation today, which I might as well go ahead and throw out there, where we charged a juvenile student for disorderly conduct, trespassing, and resisting arrest.
Okay.
So we are, I feel like the police department and working very closely with the school systems, staff, from the top all the way down. We're working very closely with them. We are together, in this thing, trying to do what we can to ensure that the students there are as safe as absolutely possible. We had the situation at the basketball court December the 19th. Two adults were charged that night, and since then there was a pretty extensive follow-up investigation. We reviewed every piece of video that we had, every piece of information that we had, really, because what we want to do is send the message that, listen, this is Martinsville. This isn't going to be tolerated. We're civil here. We treat each other with respect and dignity. And so as a result of that investigation, we have charged an additional adult female. Her name is Georgiana Hairston. She's from the 100 block of Honey Place in the city of Martinsville. And, and we also charged an additional juvenile for disorderly conduct resulting from the fight at the basketball game.
And that's kind of when all this started. But I think you would classify that as a big fight, would you?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was absolutely characterization there. I think fits a little bit better than it does with what occurred at the high school yesterday.
All right, but I think I'm looking at this and the public's looking at it. It's like, what is happening with the students in the Martinsville High School? It seems like they're kind of getting out of control.
Well, that's a good question. We're asking ourselves the same question, and what we believe is occurring is, problems, if you will, at home, in the neighborhoods, outside of the school, probably coming into the school. That doesn't mean that it isn't still something that the police department and the schools don't have to get a handle on, because we want it to be a safe environment for again, students and staff, and so we're working to assure that we do that. It's disappointing, some of these behaviors, to say the least, and obviously some of these things. I mean, we had police officers. The situation yesterday, we had police officers very close by. So I mean, it's not a situation that there's not supervision or that there's not a police presence or that sort of thing. But really, to put your finger on exactly what's occurring, boy, I wish I could tell you. I do think that it's probably stemming from issues in the neighborhoods and revealing itself in the schools. But we're on it. I mean,
okay.
We've met a number of times with school officials. We're continuing to meet with school officials, and it's not one of these issues that we're just going to say, hey, it's okay, these things happen, and we're just not going to do anything about it. No, we're going to take very affirmative actions, as you know, with the basketball game. We've taken some pretty big steps there to ensure that we don't have additional problems at the basketball game, and I think it's incumbent on us to do those things. So It's a work in progress. I'm not saying. I mean, like I say, we had an incident today, so I'm not saying we've arrived yet.
Okay.
But I hope the public can take comfort in knowing that we are on top of it, and we're going to do what it takes to ensure that the schools are safe. When I got here, I committed that I said, hey, listen, the police department has a big role in school safety. It's a secure facility to some degree, and obviously it's under the watch, if you will, of the school system. But I think that the police department has a role in ensuring that the schools are safe. And so by the presence that you're showing, now today there were a number of police vehicles at the school, not because of problems, but because there was a lockdown drill. And I'm not sure if the lockdown drill was a result of some of the problems we've had to send the message to the students, and if that's the case, I certainly support that. Or it could have been something that was just scheduled and it just worked out that it was today. Again, I think it probably sent the right message to the students in either event. But the majority of the cars that you're seeing there, in addition to the school resource officer and maybe an extra officer or two that we're asking to kind of keep a check on the school, the majority of those were there just because it was a lockdown drill.
Right. Is this your number one issue that you're dealing with in your office right now?
I have a lot of number one issues, Charles.
Right.
So it's an important issue to me, and it is certainly a priority. Is it my highest priority? Crime in general is my highest priority. Crime and disorderly conduct. The safety of the citizens of Martinsville is my highest priority. So certainly this is one of them. But it's a few hours ago. In fact, I think maybe when you guys called me earlier today, I was meeting with a manager of one of our stores where they're having some shoplifting issues.
Okay.
So we're a police department, a police chief always has multiple balls in the air, and today is no different.
Right. Have you thought about actually going to have an assembly there at the high school and talking to the students? Is that something that you might do?
That's a great point. In fact, I'm not sure that that's something that we've considered or not. What we've started doing with the basketball games, we've had kind of an assembly with, if you will, with the players, and the school resource officers are doing a kind of a security briefing with the players of both the home team and the away team, just to kind of share with them some of our concerns and to basically kind of lay the groundwork so that there aren't problems. But having an assembly at the high school, it might be appropriate. I appreciate you mentioning that.
Well, I guess as a community, we all should try to do something, because it does look like it's gotten to a serious point. And what I'm wondering, as a community, what can we do to help you and help these kids? Because they're teachable moments for kids that can see that. I guess the first message you want to send is that you're not going to get away with it.
Sure.
And the second, that there are consequences, and that when you're in a leadership role like you are, teachable moments for kids might be something, because obviously they need to learn something.
Yeah, right, Charles. I mean that's a great point. It's as you mentioned that, I'm making a note here, and I suspect that's something that we'll definitely be looking into. That maybe we'll work towards.
One thing I do know is that when you speak, the criminals listen, because you speak pretty loudly. You have a kind of a no tolerance attitude on a lot of things, and I know this is one. I'm sure that's kind of what I'm hearing you saying, is you're not going to tolerate any of this.
Oh, well, absolutely. We're definitely not going to tolerate it,
yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that. We're certainly doing everything we can to again, ensure that it's a safe environment for our students.
Right, and in that assembly, don't you think it's important to say, we don't turn on TV every night and see that there's been another fight at school, because that sends a message about Martinsville, Henry County that's horrible.
Right. It's one arrest is more than we want to see. We have police officers in schools not because we want them to make arrests, because we want their presence to encourage the students to behave in a way that they feel safe, and that they realize that they can't get out of line, that if they do cause problems, that they potentially could be arrested. And so, one arrest is too many. One arrest prompts us to think, okay, we need to take a hard look at this. So, certainly that's exactly what we're doing, and I appreciate you giving us an opportunity to be here. I know a lot of the community watch your show, yeah. And hopefully have a chance to watch this and see that. Listen, we're doing everything we can to ensure the safety of the students.
Well, maybe tomorrow we'll make the show. I know you're going to come on and join us tomorrow live. We'll make it a community. What can we do to fix this?
It sounds good, Charles.
Yeah.
Twice in 2 days with Star News.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I have to admit, I try to be hard on you, but I do like you.
Charles, you're a good man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Man with a lot of responsibility, Chief Sean Dunn with the Martinsville City Police. And he will be our guest, our soul for the 1 hour tomorrow. So I always look forward to him. He does seem like a guy who means well, and I think he does. We'll take a break. We've got a lot more to talk about. There was a situation involving ICE this morning that killed somebody in Rockingham County. We got that story coming up. Stay with us.